Today we're taking a look at one of the best poses you can possibly do and that you probably aren't doing unless you're already a yogi. So this posture is called Mulasana, also known as a yogi squat or a wide-legged squat. This pose is wonderful for building up increased hip mobility and for alleviating back pain. It also helps you build strength and flexibility that will allow you to get a more powerful and safer full squat. So a barbell squat, goblet squat, things like that. So this posture is fantastic whether you're doing yoga, whether you're doing weightlifting, or even if you just are trying to alleviate some issues with low back pain. So to begin with, if you happen to have it nearby, grab a block. It's a great way to start learning Mulasana. We're going to start with the block. So for a Mulasana, you're going to take your feet pretty wide. You're going to turn your toes out. Set that block down. We're going to squat down and start by sitting on the block. So we're going to squat down, come to rest on that block. Now from here, we can play with finding the proper placement. So you want toes slightly turned out, knees going over the toes. And then notice if you tend to roll in and your knees want to drop forward, which is really common, especially if you have flat feet, but it happens for most of us regardless of that. So think about lifting through the arches and getting all four corners of your feet firmly planted, and then drawing back with the knees so they're aiming right over your middle toes. Now take your elbows, place them just inside your knees, and draw your hands to heart center. Now from here, notice if you want to curl in, which is really common. Think about pulling those shoulders back and down, nice and strong. So this right here will build up flexibility, just staying right here. If you've got really loose hips, you might be able to nudge them even more open to get a little bit more intensity out of the posture. If you have tight hips, this right here might be really challenging. So you go where you need to go. When you hit a place where this feels like you can hold this for a really long time, it's not causing too much intensity, then you're going to be ready to take it up a level. And all we're going to do to take it up a level is move the block. We're just going to slide that block out of the way and come right back down into our pose. Again, paying attention to not rolling forward on the feet, not collapsing in the shoulders, keeping everything nice, lifted, and strong. So I had to work really hard to get to this deep of a Mulasana. When I started, I was probably somewhere up in here, and my heels were usually lifted. Happens a lot. Focus on trying to keep the heels down. May not always be accessible to you, but trying to think about driving the heels down rather than just lifting the heels and settling into the pose, which is going to give you more tension and more tightness rather than doing what we want it to do, which is open up through the hips. So if you're finding those heels lifting, if I bring my feet a lot closer and go down, my heels will automatically come off the mat. And I can alleviate that by just taking my feet a little wider to come into the posture. If you're not able to get very deep, elbows may not come to knees. That's okay. Keep your hands at heart center and lift up through the chest. So just holding that pose for a while is awesome. It's going to build up, again, that flexibility. It's going to build up some strength. Next level, if you're looking to get a little bit more, we're going to add on some. So we're going to come back down into our Mulasana, hands at heart center. You're going to take your right hand, place it inside your right knee. Left elbow continues to press into the left thigh. That right hand is going to push that right knee away, which is going to make your hips rise. It's going to rock you forward a little. And then you're going to drop back down. We're going to do this 5 times. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Other side, left. Hand to left knee, pressing it open. 1. Relax. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And letting that go. Doing that on a daily basis is going to greatly increase your flexibility and mobility in this pose. And I cannot emphasize enough how powerful this is for your hip health, for your low back health, all of which tie into your overall body health. That's Mulasana.